Okay, so in the in VS Code, we have the extensions up here in my system. You can rearrange these, so it kind of depends on how you've customized, but that's the box you want to look for. And in there, you want to type Git Graph.
Okay.
And it will come up with all sorts of things, but the one you want to look for is just the one that's plain Git Graph. Oh, I wonder what V3 is. I wonder if that's newer and better. Anyway, I'm distracted already by M. Hutchie is the author there. And then there'll be an install button. Can't see that here because I've already installed it, but it'll be install, and that's it. Just one press, and you're done.
Okay.
So right now it's going to show me, yes, I already do have it installed, as you see, and this is the data on it. I could uninstall and install it back. I don't want to mess anything up. This is right in front of a demo. Never change your configuration.
Right.
I've learned that the hard way over the years. Okay. So there's Git Graph, and it's installed. And what that will mean is that we can then view everything Git related and perform 95% of whatever you need to do with Git directly from this graphical view instead of having to use the other stuff. So let's go back to the file menu. Now we want to open some repository and fork it. Is that what you wanted me to do?
Yes. If you want to go to that
clone repository. Let me get the link for that back over here. That's this guy, right? Okay, how do I copy that? Copy link, open link, copy link URL. There we go. That's probably it. And then I've never done this way. I usually do git clone and then invoke the thing. So hopefully this works.
Well, I think you want to do, I think you want to go to the GitHub interface. I think you want to fork it and clone it. And the reason is because you're going to submit pull requests, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I don't really want to go here. So we want to actually do this on the web then. So I should have just clicked on it, which is easier, much easier.
Yes.
And then say, go here. Wait, where should it go? Go as...
Just click on GitHub, the blue part, over to the left.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's so intuitively obvious. Right. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
And now we're going to fork this.
Yes.
Right. And it's going to go over to create a new repo, git-intro-workshop. Well, that's good enough. That's all good. Git-intro-workshop. What the heck? Same name.
Yes, that works.
Okay. Now I have a link here for code, which is what I can bring down south here now. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back over here, and this is what I'm going to put in clone repository. Right. Like that. And why is it? Oh, it's asking where it wants to be on my local disk. Desktop, new folder, demo. Create. And yes. All right. So that's cloning down now, right? Okay. Would you like to open it? Sure.
Sorry, where did you do that? Did you do it in your terminal? How did you do it?
No, I did that in the left panel under files. And because I had no files open, it wanted to know what to do. And so I said, clone a repository. And so then I gave it the URL for that. And then it wanted to know where to put it on my disk, which is the next step. And I put demo for that. And so this is a directory underneath my demo directory underneath my desktop at this point. Okay. And so let's look at some files here. See if the readme is there. There's the readme. Okay. And now we'll look at Git Graph. Okay. Oh, I have Markdown turned on. So let's see why I turn Markdown off. Those are all bad Markdowns.
Well, we could fix a few of them along the way. I do have another question. Do you want to do the git remote add upstream in the terminal right now, or do you want to, should we do that part now?
The part that it already has the remote for my repo. What it doesn't have is the remote for your repo.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think of the easiest way to do that. Well, let's first launch Git Graph. And I think there's a sub command for that of add another repo. So let's do this. In fact, I think it's one of these menu items over here. So we'll get to that. But So to get to this screen, I just went to Git Graph on the bottom row. There's also like some things you can pull up at the little command menu or whatever, but I just go right to the bottom row and hit Git Graph. And what this is showing me is a graph then of all the commits that have been made to this repo. And this is a very boring graph because it looks like all of your things are just commits on one straight branch, and that's all we see. Okay. For hours on end, months on end, it looks like here, all the way back
to start with, but let's see how it goes.
We can work with it though. And what's important about this view is that it has more than just the commits. Commits are all these blue dots in a row here, and it has the commit messages, which are always pretty handy, and it has the date. Now I've done something for the date to make it always local time. I don't remember where I set that, but so if you only see local time, this is always local time relative to me. So regardless of what the commit message actually has in it. So this is kind of weird, but it works. There's you as an author, and there's the commit. I think there are more columns over here. It's not showing up because I've made everything wide. Let me make it tiny for a second and see if there's other columns. Nope, that's only it. So those are the only columns we get to see here. I'll leave it right about there. That way we've got plenty of space. But so this first one is a little different because we have not only the commit message, but we also have anything about the locals or remotes that refer to this particular commit, this 5689 commit, which happens to be origin/head. So that's one of the Git remotes is origin/head. That's actually the commit that is extracted when you git clone something by default. So, of course, that's the one we got because we just did the clone. This also says that it's the local branch master, which happens to also be origin/master, by the way this looks. So when they're in sync, this all kind of comes in as one blob. When they're out of sync, you can have master in one place and origin/master in a different place, like if you haven't pulled recently. And so, but that'll be showing up here. But right now, it looks like everything's just locally stable, everything's there. You could take any one of these commits now and click on the title, and you'll get this next view, this detailed view. Detailed view has cool things like commit, parents, and all that stuff, just all the meta information. Plus, this little view on the right-hand side will allow us to look at diffs between this commit and the previous commit. And so it says added 0 lines, subtract 0 lines. So it's probably just an edit on one of the lines. But we can click right here, and we get a nice little diff. And this diff is basically showing us, almost nothing changed. It says
that's
something
because
changed,
I
though.
only renamed the file name. That's why there's no changes in the, yeah.
Okay, I wonder why. Oh, yeah, it just says renamed. It actually is renamed when I hover over it. So it does actually tell me get workshops MD to get workshops MD lowercase. Only a case sensitive change. But you can also do other things. Okay.
Yes.
So there's a few buttons here, and I can't always remember what they all mean. But I think this is take a look at the file as it currently is. I wonder why it's question mark. That's weird. This, I think, means get the current file. Oh, there it is. Copy absolute file into pad to clipboard. This is view file with this revision. And this is open the file. So if it's the top commit, so it means the same commit that you have checked out. I should probably cover that too. Notice is the open circle here. That means that this is what's actually in your current workspace. This is what you're actually looking at. Anytime there's an open circle, that's what's checked out. So all these obviously aren't checked out, and we can move around to kind of see how that works in a second. But if this is the current one checked out, I can also click on this one here, and it takes me right to the file. So now it's the actual file. I can edit it. I can do whatever I want to with it right here from this screen because I've effectively opened the file as if I went over to the menu on the left-hand side and did that. And so that's what open file is. I tend not to do that very often unless I'm trying to then edit from there. Most of the time, what I'm using this menu for is doing this. Being able to see what the diffs are. This one didn't have any diffs. Let me get down and do a different one. So let's take this one down. We'll click on that. So here we're starting to see some changes. So this green part, of course, was added between this commit and the previous commit on this file. So that's what the green is indicating here. If we go down a little further, oh, and also notice +2. So there'll be 2 green lines and 0 red lines. So we'll find out with some red lines. There's some with 2. Okay, -2 and +2.
Right. So Randall, that means that 2 lines were added in this case and 2 lines were deleted. Is that right?
Yeah. Okay. Just like we have right here. This is the view for that as well. So that's where the edits come in, right? So this is a quick way to walk through changes people have made, and kind of quickly see what's going on. Much more interesting when there's multiple branches being merged in and stuff. I mean, you get this railroad track on the left-hand side that has all these side branches and they get merged back in and stuff. So it looks a lot more fun that way, but with a nice straight line, it's not all that exciting. But I think that's the core. Oh, yes, let's talk about checking out one of the earlier ones. So let's say that I wanted to look at this. I wanted to actually have this version checked out and then started a branch on it. And actually, it might be good because we can start messing with it just a little bit. So what I would do is I would come in, let's see if I can remember how to do this, and come up to the commit message here and do a right click on here, create branch, and I would give it a name. Now this is just the name locally. Remember this, I'm not cloning this branch. I already have the branch in my clone, but let's call this Randal test. Okay, and we do want to check it out. So that will also then mean that we're going to roll back all the way to here and check this one out instead. So if I hit create branch now, you'll see not much happening here, but it did check out this branch. So notice because the holes are here now, the little open holes. And now it says that Randal test is here. And if we went in and looked at the files that were in there, if we went and looked at, say, Git workshops ND, that would be as of the revision of where Randal test is currently pointing at. So that's what we accomplished by checking this out. And we could still go back and up here and look at the diffs up here. But one of the things we can't do anymore is we can't go to this open file because we can't. Oh, why is it showing that we can? Maybe it didn't change enough. It didn't used to work before. Maybe I had different circumstances. But the problem was if one of these changed, one of the files, and then you wanted to pull out a different revision of it, it would say, no, I can't do that because that's not the file that I actually have. So maybe just magically works now. I wonder if that's still the same as the original version.
So I have a question. If you go back into the Markdown file, because it's Markdown, this is a little bit maybe off topic, but you can do the view preview of the Markdown file too, right?
Yes. So I can go in, let's see if we go, what file are we at here? Well, let's see if I do this. Do that, and then I have the preview. I think it's up here. Yeah. Here's my Markdown preview.
Yeah, very cool.
Yep. All right, well, I think everything else I want to show is going to come about because we're going to be doing things. Why don't we do things now? Let me get back to the current release, the current version. That'll be here. So again, I'm coming up on these things, and I'm going to say, check out this branch. And, oh, no, we don't want to do that. We want to do check out this. No, check out. No, it's over here. That's the wrong menu. Okay, I don't normally end up doing this. So I'm trying to remember how this works. Fetch into local branch. No. Merge into current branch. No, I shouldn't have to do a merge. So we get back to here. Checkout. That's going to make a headless checkout. That's not going to work.
So do you need to, what happens with the Randal test branch that you just created?
It's just sitting here locally.
It just sits there. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I know what I can do. I can, no, I confused here. Merge, see, rebase current branch on this commit. No. I just did something I don't normally do, which is look at a funnel that's further down in the list. Usually it's simple to get back.
Maybe the issue is you created a branch, but you didn't actually make any changes.
No.
In the Randal test branch.
No, checkout branch. Master, checkout branch. Check out the existing branch and pull changes. Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's it. Okay, here, now we're back. So Randal test is still there. So what I did was I came up here, and now the menu item's gone, unfortunately. But I came up here and I said, check this out. Yes, go ahead and still use master for it because I have a local branch name master. I also still have a local branch name Randal test. I can show you that by going to the menu and actually showing you. So if we do git branch -av, you'll see that we still have the master branch. We have the Randal test branch. We have the remote head and master. So those are all still there. So the thing is Randal test is still here, although it's not selected anymore. And if I was done with it and I wasn't needing it anymore, I'd come over here to the name. I'd right click on that and put delete branch. And yes, we'll delete that. Force delete's available if necessary.
I just want to point out that this is a very old repository, and that we've started using instead of master, we've started using main with the newer repo. So this is just a very old repository. That's why it says master. But one of the issues that is open for this repo is to change the branch name.
Right. And that you could do a couple ways on that. You could actually come up here and say rename branch. And what it would do is it will rename it only locally. Now, and notice what it did here with this now. It said the local name is main, but the remote name is still origin master. They both refer to this commit, so we know they're both sitting at the same place. If I were to push a new item onto main and then tried to push it, it would say, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to push it to the old master, or do you want me to push it to a brand new main? So that would do that. Also from here, you can also, if we push branch, it's only going to be pushed I'm on a clone, so yeah, well, let's do this. So notice the set upstream here. This is where we can link the two. This is like the set remote on the command line thing. So we can just simply do this. So now if we do yes push, there. Now notice we have main, but there's also an exact equivalent of it already up in origin. So we've done that pull request or that thing that you wanted to fix by doing this here. Now we actually have both of them, and now we could go in here and we could say delete remote branch, delete, and rejected because it needs force probably. Yeah. I need to force it, but I can't force it from here. So this is one of the few times I'd be bouncing out to the command line going, no, I have to do a push with force in order to actually make this go away. Yeah, that sucks. Okay. Well, that's life. So I got most of the way there. But so, I'd have to come down here to the command line to force delete that remote. So anyway, so what else do you want me to try on this?
So you gave a tour of Git Graph. So what I would do is you have cloned it, forked it and cloned it, and have you added the remote upstream?
No, and I think that's over here on this menu. I think that's one of these guys.
Okay.
Remote origin, add remote. There we go. But I need to get the URL.
Okay.
So this is the remote here. Copy. Where's copy link? Copy link URL. There we go. And then name. Fetch URL. Probably this here. Name is original. No, not original. What else is this?
Upstream? Should we call it upstream?
We can do that.
Okay.
Easy enough. Fetch immediately, add remote. Okay, so now we have both origin and upstream. Cool.
Okay. All right. And tell me again how you get to that repository settings menu on the right-hand side.
It was in the gear.
It was in the
So
gear. Okay.
there was a gear over here under repository. So right here in gear,
I
this
see.
repository
Okay.
settings, and they got all sorts of great stuff there.
Oh,
You
wow.
add
Okay.
remote down here at the bottom. Okay.
Okay.
Now we now have the ability to show both remotes somehow. Fetch push action, fetch push, add remote. How do I see them? Oh, look at this. It's in the same menu. That's why. Upstream master. Oh, that's clever. So that means that it knows that the upstream has all the same things that this one does. Now, if upstream had some additional commits, they would have shown up off of this up here somewhere as another branch going up, like you would have if you had branches down here. So that's kind of clever there. So now I can do upstream master. I don't think you can get to doing pull requests from anything in here, though. I think that's still going to have to be going back to GitHub and doing it that way.
I have a small PR that somebody submitted. So what if I accept it? It's a small change. So let me, because I'm going to accept it.
And this should actually auto refresh, which is really fun. Okay. It actually will keep tracking upstreams.
So let me accept it.
Okay.
And I did just accept a PR, so I don't know when it'll show up is updated for you.
Yeah. Well, generally what this thing is like actually talking to GitHub all the time on a live stream saying I'm interested in these things, because I know that if people are changing the upstream, say down in here, like if you were actually editing my clone of the repo, it would just show up immediately. But let's see here. Is there a refresh? Do I have to do something? Oh, wait, there's a little spinny thing up here. Let's see what that does. No, that didn't seem to change it.
What if you closed the Git Graph tab and opened it again? Would that do anything?
That's worthy of checking. Yes. I just closed it. Here I am opening it. No, it's still showing this is upstream master. Select branches drop down. Let's see. See, it's definitely focus on that one. I'm still the only one there. Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
And okay, so here's another question. Can you go to the upstream master and sync it? How do you pull the latest changes from the GitHub repo to your local from upstream master? How would you do that?
I think, I don't know.
So for example, at the command line, I would do, if you could do like git remote -v at the terminal. Right. Oops.
Oh, no, get remote. Get remote.
Okay. So what if you did git pull upstream master, which meant that you were pulling the latest changes? Yeah.
Well, actually, main. Well, I guess it's still master over there.
It's still master, yeah. So it did pull one change. There we go.
Okay. I guess you have to pull it then. You have to. I wonder if I had simply gone in and done pull into current branch, then if it would have worked. Yeah, I can't tell now because it's already done. So
okay, because I can make a change on the repo and see if you can try pull into current branch.
Oh wait, let's do it this way. Git reset dash hard. Wait, what's checked out? Gotta make sure the right thing's checked out. I'm on main, right? Git branch. Yeah, okay, git reset -hard origin / Okay, now I think that even though this is already moved, I think now I can still do this, which is I can go take this and, take this and pull into current branch.
Okay.
I think. And am I sure? Let's see. Create a new commit. No, just pull. Yeah, so I think even if it hadn't moved yet, if I did what I just did, it would first pull to get the most current version of upstream master and then go ahead and pull that into my main, which would advance my main. You could also say rebase on it too, which would actually be interesting. Let me try that. No, because the rebase it already knows it's a sub case of it already, so it's not going to help. Okay. But if I'd made different changes, then added those. Oh, well, that'd be interesting. Here, let's do this. Reset this. Okay, and then let's say I'm going to make a change here. So let's open up a file here. The readme. And double pound here, adding a change for fun. Okay, we'll save that. And we're still going to come over, so still without touching any commands on the command line, we can come over and look at the change here and delta that. That's normal. That's just normal Git VSCode stuff. But then we can add a commit message testing to see if rebasing works. There we go. So I'm going to commit. And now we're actually going to have a graph that looks interesting. Look at that. See, now I've got this interesting little graph over here that says that I've gone from here to here, but upstream has gone here and here. Makes sense so far? And there's the colors are in there like that. That makes sense? So I'm going from here to here. That's the change I just made. And this is what the upstream's doing in the meanwhile, going over that way.
Okay. So
and now what I want to try to... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Is the upstream the one that is on GitHub?
Yeah.
It's on, right? So how are you able to make the change to the upstream?
I haven't made the change to the upstream yet.
Okay.
I've only made change to local main.
Okay.
So, in fact, you still see origin main means I still haven't pushed this to even my own repo. But now let's say I want to track the work that's been happening upstream. So now I've made a change, that one little thing I added, and I go, well, now what do I want to do to see if it's compatible with what you've got? I can go in here and say this guy is going to be what I am going to rebase. Where's the rebase on? Purge, but pull. Oh, pull with rebase. I guess it's a pull. No, that's not it. I know it's had rebase before. Maybe it's this. Yeah, okay. So sometimes it's the name of the thing, and sometimes these things have two different menus. The actual tag over here and the stuff that's to the right of it have two different menus. I don't know the logic of that entirely yet. I'm sure it would make sense if explained to me. But so sometimes I just have to look around. Where the heck is rebase? It's over here. So now I'm right-clicking on this. And I get rebase current branch, which is, again, current branch is always whatever's got the O on it. Rebase current branch onto this commit so that we do this. So we want, yes, we want to do that because we want to move my branch so it's on top of upstream master. And do we want to interact with rebase? No, just rebase. Now, look what it just did. So now it has rebased my one change. So it sits on top of upstream master now. And that means that when a pull request comes in, this will already be taken into consideration, but I can also start testing now to make sure that my changes aren't going to be messing up the upstream, because I now effectively have the merge of that. Does that help? Is that clear?
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay, great. So again, the thing that I like about Git Graph and why I strongly suggested it at that previous seminar was just I don't have to like worry about Git Graph. There's commit -2 tilde. Yeah, none of that. I'm pointing at what I wanted to try to do, and I can see right here in the graph what it ended up doing. Now let me reset that. Let's see, how do I do that? Let's do. Why undo the merge there? I don't remember. I can't imagine how I would undo the merge. Because I wanted to say the difference between that and merging in the upstream. So, let me reset it back to the beginning. So this is easy enough. We can just do this again. Okay, now we're back to that again. Let's go back and make a change again. So I'm going to go find a file. Sure. And then, so Git Graph is going to show, and here's the other thing Git Graph shows, it's nice. So notice that I've made a change, but I haven't committed it yet. So now it's just this gray open circle. So this is, again, whenever there's an open circle, that's what's currently mostly checked out. So over here it says we've got this status of thing, and we have uncommitted changes. Now this also has diffs just like everything else. So there's the change I made to the readme. Okay. So now we can come back in over here to our Git menu in our left side, and it says the same thing. Readme is different. We've got options on that, but we can go testing out emerge from upstream. Okay, and we commit that. Okay, and the sync changes, by the way, is because now my main and origin main are in different places. So that's reflecting that there's one change to be shipped to update my clone. But now what we want to say is let's merge master instead of rebase master. So we can do, where are we at now? Right there, upstream master, merge in the current branch, right? That's what I wanted to do. And you'll see, and it's just create a new commit, even if it fast forwards. Yeah, let's do that. Just to make it clear, squash commits, we can do that if we want to, but yes, merge. So now you might see this a little more traditionally. See, this is, we've made it, this is like the ones you do. You make a change, then you do a pull request, which makes a merge. This made a merge. And so now we have two commits here, the stuff I changed, and then the stuff that you changed, which is now in a separate commit. Git branches MD. That's the stuff that you had in your pull request from before. Okay, so again, the graph is reflecting how we got here. Anytime there's two things coming together, that's some sort of merge or a rebase. And anytime things are splitting apart, obviously it's because the code is forked and gone in different directions. All right, so that's most of it. What else do you want to know?
Okay, let's go to the graph.
Okay, we're on the graph.
Create a branch and submit a PR. All right, how about, can you create a gitignore file?
Sure.
So I guess, so
here's
the thing. Will you create a new branch first before you do this? Like, what is your workflow?
I typically will set this up as, let me reset this back to the original main so that we don't have that scratch stuff in there. Git, same thing I did before, git reset origin main. Okay. Now it's back to the way it was. Okay, so if I want to start work on something new, I'll often just head straight into it as a file. So I'll create a new file. In root, I have a extension for this that makes it really nice for doing that kind of stuff. And I want gitignore. And then I'd put something in it, some things to it. Okay.
So I actually gave you some, hang on. I did put in what to add in my notes. So let me go to there. May as well. Let's see.
Okay.
And it said, use this as an example. So here is one as an example. I'm putting it in the chat. Okay. And then you can open that up.
And now we want to commit that. And we want to commit it to a new branch. Well, if we just press commit here, it's going to go into the same branch we already have. So, but luckily there's a pull down menu here. And we have, nope, that's not where I figured it out.
So let me ask this question again. So if you're making a change, your workflow is you make a change to a file and then you create a branch. Is that true?
Typically, but I typically do it with a command line. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to do this without a command line.
Okay. Well, it's also okay to use the command line. It just, we can use Git as a complement, as a supplement to the command line. Because the goal isn't to show how to do everything outside of the command line, but how to use Git Graph to enhance our workflow.
Yeah. Let's see. I wonder what this does. Let's show commit graph. Oh, that would actually open Git Graph again. Git Graph, Git log. No, yeah. So I would just do git switch Randal change. I think that'll work. If not, oh nope. Git create.
I typically do git checkout -b the branch name, so I don't know if git create is okay. Git checkout -b, yeah.
Okay, and what you'll see is now that's created it here in the Git Graph, because the commit itself is still pointing at the previous item. But now if we add it, it will be added. And again, the circle is in front of Randal change. It means that that's the one that's checked out. So what we can do then is add gitignore commit. Okay, and then notice now it's Randal change up to here. So that's the one that's checked out. But notice it doesn't have origin / Randal change because I haven't pushed it to my remote repo. Okay.
Okay. So then,
and what's next?
So when you submit a pull request, is it can you just go through the process of submitting a pull request, even if part of it is over on GitHub?
Yeah. Well, at this point, I would want to check via test branch or something that it's compatible with upstream master. But if I'm presuming that that's okay, then I would commit this and I would merge this into my local master, which would be easy enough to do. I go here and click on this and
so actually, sorry, the workflow that I'm typically used to is I work on a branch, I push to that branch, and then I submit a pull request from that working branch to the main branch of the repo. Is that what you're saying as well?
There's two ways to do it. So yes, let me do it this way instead. So this case then, publish branch from this menu will do that. And I want to go to origin, not upstream. Okay, so now you'll notice, see now there's also the origin tag here. So that means it's on my clone. So now we can go over to GitHub and make that request. Let's see here. Oops, not that. Wrong command in. Got to be in the right display here. Randal. Not those. Randal Schwartz. Where's the recent activity? How come it? Repos. Repository. What did we call it? I don't remember. Oh, here, git-intro-workshop. Right there. Okay. And compare pull request. Bingo.
Right.
Okay.
And actually, before you submit it, can you open up the issues on another tab?
Sure.
Thank you. And so if we could do towards number 8, because see how it says create ignore file issue number 8?
Okay.
Right. So if you go back to the PR. Yeah.
And,
so you can say towards number 8. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And create pull request.
By the way, sorry, before we go, if you want to do fixes, it will close the issue, but I think fix doesn't close the issue automatically. Is that correct?
Okay. I don't remember.
Yeah. So towards will keep the issue open, which is fine, or in fixes will close it, but fix I think doesn't do anything.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
create pull request. Yes.
Yeah. No conflicts. Great. That's good.
Good. All right. So there's a pull request there. And then what we could do is we could work on like another small change. So for example, if we go back there, right? Go to, let's see. Okay. All right. Issue number 1. So I have issues. Okay, there you go. Create visualization for branches. So that one doesn't work. Okay, issue number 5. All right.
Master domain.
Okay, yeah. So sorry. If you go back to Visual Studio Code, right? If you go back, if you do a search of the files, let's find someplace where it says master and change it to main in one file.
To check out master?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And we can submit a PR for that.
Okay, now I've made the change, but I've made the change on top of my other branch. So I really wanted to make the change based on
in a new branch, right?
Yeah. So let me see if there's a obvious way to do that from here, because I don't want it to be on top of this. I want it to be on. I want this change applied on top of master. Maybe I can just. Nope. Very picks. Let's see. I really needed to have main checked out instead of this.
Because my workflow is I always go to the main branch. I go to I make sure that's sync, and then I create a new branch.
Yeah. Well, there's that way to do that. And then Randal change just hang out there as a new branch. Good. But now I need to make the change again, but that's okay. I can do that. I lost my change while I did that. I could have committed it and moved it around with cherry picking and stuff, but nah, it just gets a little crazy. So this will work. And then I should have just the one change here. Oh, did it reformat it? That's weird. Yeah, I think my my code cleaned that up to fix all the errors that were wrong with it.
Okay. So it's Markdown, right? So actually what you could do, you could submit another PR in a new branch and say fixed Markdown.
Okay. Right? Yeah. Well, so should I reset master back to main or main back to master then? Do that?
Yeah. I mean, what I typically do is I go to my main branch, I make sure it's synced, and then I work on different branches and I go to the different ones. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's
and you can use your terminal as well. It's like you don't always have to use the VSC visual code. It's just like an enhancement, and that way people can see as well.
Right. Okay, so let me see where I'm at. I'm currently at main, which is the same as Randal change. Actually, I didn't want that to be that way. That's weird. So I want to be on main. So let's do git reset or git checkout main. Okay, I want to be on top of main there. It just happens that Randal change is the same as, oh, I screwed that up. I've moved Randal change around because he did get reset. I don't care. Git branch -d Randal change. I don't read it anymore. And I could have done that also by coming up here. So I can do here, delete branch, force delete, yes, delete. Okay, so now that's just gone. That makes it easy. Okay, so I've got main checked out. I've got this in a place where I want to fix the markdown. Let's go back to that search. Where was search? This is the file that needed fixing. And if I hit save, it will, in fact, fix all the markdowns that it can. There's a few things that it still can't fix. But now you'll see if we look at a diff, it's obviously added some blank lines. But if we go here, and then what changes did it make? It made these changes. And so at that point, we can do a commit that just has fixed markdown. I need to just get rid of this.
Right, we can do fixed markdown. That works.
Okay, and now we can come in and do our one edit for the master becoming main. Save that. And I'm in the diff file, but somehow that always works. It's weird. Okay, and then replace master with commit. And now if we look at our graph, we should see two different commits now. See fix markdown, replace master with main. And this is a local main branch. The upstream main branch is still down here. But we really want this to be on a separate branch for another pull request. So git checked out -b. What issue was that?
It is issue 5.
Issue 5. Okay. So we'll just do that. And now it's also main. We don't care about that. We want to reset that back when we get the chance. But issue 5 is now there. So now we can publish issue 5 to origin. Bingo. And then we can come over here to pull requests and I have to go back to, where does it say the most recent change? Oh, here's where I'm comparing pull requests right there. It's right in front of me, Randal. Can't automatically merge. Why is that? Oh, maybe because there's changes made on the master branch in that same file. That's interesting.
Well, you shouldn't be able to merge automatically anyway to this repo because you don't have merge rights.
Right. But
Is that right?
it's complaining because there's a conflict, even if I could merge it. That's not good.
Okay. Yeah. And the conflict is the conflict on your side because of the different branches that we're working with?
Well, it's got issue 5 compared to master. I don't know, because issue 5 also has the gitignore, I think. No, it can't. That's in a different issue. That is weird. I wonder why it can't actually merge. Is there a way to find out why it can't merge? Oh, and I'm running out of time, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to go pretty quick here. So what do you want me to do? Do you want me to keep?
Oh, can we go back to VSC and see what's going on there? Maybe we can just solve this one thing and then do you have a meeting right now?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've got to meet some people. So
okay, all right.
Let's do this. I'm just gonna do a scratch branch and see what happens when I try to merge it. Okay. An origin slash It would be upstream slash upstream dash slash master. Not possible to fast forward aborting. Oh, because I have merge set with flags. It's going to take longer than I thought then. Git merge. What's the override for merge? I've got something set up in my file. Oh, I know, because we'll do it with the menus. So if we say we want to merge this guy into Scratch, yes, merge, and we'll get the conflicts, hopefully. Where did it go? Did it go anywhere? Did it do anything? Well, that's weird. Oh, right. It's upstream slash master. This is what I want to try to merge in. Okay. That's one's going to conflict. Yes, there. Now we've got a conflict. Okay. So the conflicts are resolve in merge editor. Conflicts are, I think it just doesn't like the fact that we changed spaces around and also changed this master thing. I think it just says there's no way I can do all that automatically. So we would have to sort of jimmy this around a bit until it was able to be merged, and then push that as a pull request.
Okay.
But
do we want to?
Yeah.
We can revisit it.
Sure.
Okay, we'll try to solve this using Git Graph later. Should we do that?
We can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
We can do that.
All right. Thank you, and I'll let you go.